Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Every Day is Friday, the show where we dive into the stories and experiences from people from all walks of life. Today, we are sitting down with Tyler. He's an expert in entrepreneurship and social media marketing. He's helped over 30 local businesses grow without needing to go viral. Let's dive into his journey. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Let's go. What an intro. Thanks for having me on, Matt. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. And now for the listeners who may not be familiar with your line of work yet, could you give us a quick rundown of who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
Yeah, so I basically help local businesses become famous in their city through Instagram. So it's not about being the best, it's about being the best known. And what I do is to teach them how to actually get clients, get customers, close deals from Instagram without having to go viral or have a lot of followers. And so it's just with an Instagram ad, a simple ad, and then engaging content and combine the two. And it's something that a lot of people aren't doing. They're either doing one or the other, but the money's in both, which we can dive into later. So that's about it.
Now, how did your journey into entrepreneurship begin?
Yeah. So graduated GCU, Grand Canyon University in Phoenix about 2 years ago. And I, with a degree in marketing, and started a cabinet and flooring company with a friend of mine. He was majority owner. We ran that up to $500,000 in 6 months, but I hated it. I would just get the cabinet measurements wrong. It was just a nightmare, having to do that. And then we kind of fought heads a little bit too. So I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go start my own business. I left that, and I've always loved marketing. I've been making content for golf. I have a golf page I do for fun. And so I was like, you know what? I understand marketing. Our kind of generation grew up with Instagram. So I was like, I'm just going to go all in, start an agency, started a Google ad agency, where I basically, you pay someone $2,000 a month to run their Google ads for them. Got a few clients on that, and then realized, hey, Google ads work, but you're not really building a brand off of it. You're kind of just paying for clicks. And once you shut off those clicks, it's gone. You're not building anything long-term. So shut that down, invested in a coach, and it was a lot of money. Just it was $5,000 that I just fresh out of college was I don't know, and then I did it, and it ended up being one of the best purchases of my life. Started this business where now I teach businesses how to fish instead of do it for them, for a program, and a 6-month program. And since then we've helped out 30 local businesses, mainly in Phoenix. And now we're going nationwide with it. And a lot of ups, downs, as everyone knows, it's an entrepreneur. It's, one night you're going to bed you sleep like a baby, and the next night you're like, oh God, so that's about it.
Now, what inspired you to help local businesses grow?
Yeah. So because I once owned one, the cabinet company, I got a good feel of what the blue collar, what that home service, not just home service, but local business is like. And then using that in my marketing skills combined, it's been great because they're an ideal client. They have money, right? Because most of these businesses, they pay an agency $2,000 to $5,000 every single month. So that's $36,000 a year. If I could teach them how to do it themselves, and super easy, doesn't take a lot of time, for a quarter of the price, then it's a no-brainer. So that's about it.
No, it's amazing to see how someone decided to help others succeed.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been fun just helping out, learning sales, learning marketing, learning how to fulfill, get client results. What makes me feel good as night is when you can actually change someone's life and teach them something, and then they have that skill for life now. So that's what's been rewarding.
Now, what's one of the biggest challenges you face in helping businesses?
I'd say right now, the biggest challenge is getting people to understand that it's better to learn it themselves rather than pay someone else for you instead. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Rather than pay someone else, because basically when you pay someone else, you don't have control, right? You're always you're hoping they do a good job. You're signing a contract. Maybe they don't do a good job, and then you have to start back from zero. Versus with this, now you have the skill, you know what's working, you know what's not working, and you're not relying on a third party agency to bring in all your business for you. So that's kind of where that works out, I guess.
Now, the first step is always the hardest. Now, how did you land your first client?
Yeah, it all started when I basically started door knocking. I went and door knocked. I was like going to local strip mall bars, near me. Hey, do you need any help with marketing? No, get out of here, like that kind of thing. And I finally got put on by a friend I knew to someone who needed marketing. We hopped on the phone and I went through a PowerPoint I made off Google Slides, had no idea what I was doing. And then I was like, yeah, so it's going to be $9.97 a month. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, huh? And I was like, okay, let's go. And so I sent him the invoice. He paid. I was like, wow, like this is what it's like to make money online. And then sure enough, that was for the Google ads. And then about 4 months later, after I shut that business down and started this new one, I was like, hey, I have this new offer. We're basically pivoting to social media. The price is $8K, but it includes all these videos. It includes, learning the system, everything from A to Z. And he was like, that's a lot, but you did a good job before. Let's do it. And I was like, wow, like, all right, there we go. So that's how that worked.
Now, what's one lesson you wish you knew when you first started?
Yeah, I'd say, gosh, that's a good question. I wish I started content earlier. So like you watch YouTube videos and it's like, they're like, oh, send 10,000 cold emails a day and get 10 domains, or you should door knock or cold call. But what are they doing? They're posting YouTube videos. So it's like, do what people do, not what they say. I wish I would have started making YouTube videos sooner. YouTube is so powerful, and just Instagram, just, running ads, posting reels, content, talking on camera, all that stuff, not being afraid, of what other people will think or your friends from high school judging you, just like going all in at it. And then, they'll look back in a few years and like, how'd you do it? So it's funny.
Now, what do you think the biggest mistake new entrepreneurs make when you're helping them with their businesses?
Yeah, I'd say they're scared to invest in their own growth or own learning. So like we paid 5K for the first time to learn this, or I did. And I just, sent it paid in full. And today we signed an agreement for 46K that now we're going to be paying out to take our business to the next level. So like, that's like a shit ton of money, right? Like, pardon my French, but like that's holy, you know what I mean? To pay one person. So, but it's having that belief and faith in yourself, and obviously vetting that person to make sure it's not a scam, but like not being afraid to invest in yourself and your growth to get there, because time collapses everything. So instead of watching a million YouTube videos and trying to figure out yourself and go down that rabbit hole, doing it yourself and paying someone who's been there for you and time collapsing has helped me a lot. So.
No, that's very good advice. I mean, that can be life-changing for some people. Now, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received about business?
Thank you. Yeah. One of the best advice I've ever received about business, just to know, I mean, it's cliche, but never give up, keep going. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you hear that a lot, but it's true. There's days when you're walking on glass and you're just like, oh God, like, we're spending about $100 a day right now in ad spend, and, we're not bringing in clients every single day. We might sign 3 people in a day, and then for 5 days, no one. And so it's like, it's very like, okay, how can we make this more consistent now? What systems do we need to implement for that? So knowing your numbers, knowing your KPIs, actually tracking that stuff that's what's key.
I know we already touched on this, but for Instagram, what is one of the biggest mistakes businesses make on Instagram?
Yeah, they don't talk on camera.
Really?
They don't talk on camera, and they don't run ads properly. So everyone on Instagram, you have a business, you'll scroll through, they're basically posting a picture. Like if you're a kitchen remodeler, they'll post a picture of a finished kitchen, the cabinets or countertop, be like, look at this. And then they'll just post it and say, buy now, call now if you want a new kitchen. It's just people are asking for money all the time. They're just asking. versus giving away free value. Hey guys, your top 3 mistakes homeowners make when trying to repaint their cabinets. 1 this, 2 this, 3 this. Free value builds trust. And them talking on camera, people want to do business with people they like, know, and trust. How are you going to do that if it's just a still picture of a cabinet? People are going to scroll right past that. But if you flip the camera around and say, hey guys, just finished up with Stacy's cabinets here, got this going on. If you would like a free design, just shoot me a quick DM, design. I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Like just something simple like that. People could be doing that on stories, their reels. I'll go in the car and just make 2 videos a day, just yapping in my car about like documenting the process. And you don't need views. You don't need followers. You need the right type of follower. So that's big. It's like, instead of trying to go viral, I would rather have 1,000 ideal clients following me than 50,000 people who just, might be kids on TikTok who are not my ideal audience. So I'd say that.
I mean, social media is powerful, but only when you use it the right way.
Totally. Yeah, it is very powerful, especially because it's like, that's the future. It's all content, when you combine that too with long form content. I know Google just came out with this study, the 7-11-4 rule, where for people to like really fully trust you and want to buy from you, they have to watch at least 7 hours of your content with 11 touch points across 4 different platforms. And if you're just posting reels, that's a lot of reels. That's a lot of 15-second reels versus a YouTube video like this. People will watch this for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and that's a lot of time, right? That someone's spending to listen to you. So they're giving you their attention, which that's an ask, right? Like people, when you go on YouTube, people are like, oh, I'll just go on YouTube. It's free. Everything's free. And yes, it is free, but you pay with your time, which, time is your greatest asset, not money. So, just knowing who to listen to, not trying to listen to everybody, and not having shiny object syndrome, because as entrepreneurs, I think we all just see like the latest, greatest thing, and we're just like, oh, let's try that. That'll work. And it doesn't. So.
Now, what is the key to growing a business without going viral?
Ads, running ads. I'd say when you run ads and you're able to do it, set it up the right way, the way we teach our clients, where you're getting followers and you're not asking for their lead form or for their contact information or their money. You're literally just asking for follows. And then you talk to those followers through the DMs and you have engaging content to go along with it. When all that's implemented properly, it builds so much trust because they're quality leads versus cold calling someone and they're like, I don't want to talk to you. And they hang up. Versus door knocking, they're like, who are you? Get out of here. Right? Or magazines or billboards, which are very in the past. Everyone's addicted to the phone, right? Everyone's addicted to this. So how can we best capitalize on that? And that's through Instagram. So, yeah.
No, this is valuable advice for small businesses. Now, how important is branding when it comes to social media success?
Definitely important. It goes right along with the content side. A lot of times people want to work with people, not businesses. So when it's branded after you, so like we have a client, Andy the pressure washer, right? His Instagram account, his company is Blue Cactus Power Washing. He can make an account for Blue Cactus Pressure Washing and use this system and he'll do good. He'll crush it, right? He'll just talk on camera. He'll be fine. But instead, what helped him out even more is he made the account a personal account. So it's him talking on camera and it's his account. So like his username is Andy the pressure washer. And his profile picture is a picture of him smiling. So because of that, it's like, oh, this guy, they're not some corporation. Like this guy seems like a stand-up guy. Like, yeah, I'll have him do my house. And so he's done good off that amongst a couple other clients. But yeah, I'd say branding, grow your personal brand, do what you're doing right now. Like you're crushing it. Keep doing that. And don't be afraid to show personality also. Like don't be afraid to say things people disagree with. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think people always try to blend in. Yeah.
No, it's such valuable information. Now, how do you create content that actually converts to sales?
Yeah. So when it comes to that, I would say give away actionable advice. So there's three types of content: connect content, proof content, and value content. You want to make value content. So if you're let's say I'll stick with kitchen remodeler, create value content. So like I said, top three mistakes homeowners make when picking out paint for their cabinets, or when trying to replace their own countertops, or just actionable, like free tips, basically. So that you could give them away the farm and sell the implementation, and they're still going to want to use you. But now they trust you more because you gave them advice for free. And so value advice, proof. So like video testimonials, you and your clients. If you go to my account, Tyler.Smerz, Smerz, top 3 pin posts are testimonials of my clients telling the camera how good the service is, versus me saying, hey, like no one would believe me if I just said it. People want to hear your client say it. So proof content, and then connect content, which is I'll post me at the gym. I'll post me. I mean, I don't go on many dates these days, but I'll post me on a date if I'm at like at the gym, on a walk, even if I'm just like working in a coffee shop, just show that I'm a human. Like I'm not just a bot. So when you post those three types of content, that's the best way to create it in a way that converts.
Yes, it's such valuable information for small businesses. Thanks for sharing. I mean, what's one of the best ways to attract like new customers online on Instagram?
Through paid ads. Yeah, through ads. Yeah, just running it local in your area. That's what I specifically help out with. And then that way you're getting people, because if you're a kitchen remodeler in Houston, but you get a bunch of followers from your content in New Jersey, you don't care. Like you can't service them, right? You want followers in Houston. So setting up an ad for people in Houston only, targeting specifically who you want to target, and then talking to those followers, that's what crushes because they're local. So yeah, you're essentially buying followers, but you're buying real followers who live in your city. And it's at a fraction of the price they're clicking on your ad. If you have a good ad, they're paying 50 cents cost per click, and then let's say every 4 clicks, one person follows you. That's $2 per follower. That's $2 per lead. And that's a quality lead because now they've seen your profile, they've watched your content. So it's way better than like sending out 1,000 mail flyers, or I don't know, running a Facebook lead form and calling that lead up, and then they don't pick up the phone or they ghost you. It's like, oh, like there's no trust there. Versus with this, they see your content, they trust you. And even if they aren't ready to move forward right now, they're still following you. So every day they're seeing my content, they're seeing my stories. I'm nurturing them every day so that by the time they do need someone to help them with marketing, they know that dumb dude from Instagram who doesn't shut up, which is me.
No, yeah, it's so true. I mean, getting attention is one thing, but turning it into sales is another. I mean, what should businesses focus on when they're starting their Instagram page?
Yeah, I'd say when it comes to starting their Instagram page, just talking on camera and not being afraid to do that. People get in their own way and they get scared of what others think, and what people from, like their high school or whatever think. You can't care. It's like, do you want to remain mysterious or do you want to make money? And so if you're able to talk on camera and put yourself out there and not be afraid to do it, instead of making the excuse like it's not my brand, like just do it, because that's how people connect. People want to work with people. I guarantee you, if you take 2 posts and one's a still picture of a countertop versus one is like the person flipping around talking with the countertop in the background, that video is going to do better.
And I love your advice by the 3 pins on top of your Instagram page should be like maybe a customer, talking about it. That's such good advice for small businesses out there.
Thank you. Yeah. People are going to like, that's the thing. For my clients, people have seen what they do and then they try to copy them, and it doesn't necessarily work. So it's one of those things, like you might think, like I thought I knew, like when I first signed up for my consultant or my coach, I was like, I know 70% of the stuff you teach me already, like how to run an ad. I already know how to run an ad, but it's that 30% I don't know that I'm still going to pay you for. And he sold me. He's like, the fact you already, know 70% of it, that means you're going to do that much better. And I was like, that's a good line. So, yeah, it's been an absolute blast, but I'd say actionable tips like that is just a piece of the pie. So there's a lot of other factors involved. There's DMs, there's ads, and there's content, and then how to actually implement all three of those. But when you do it successfully or do it the right way, it's a cash cow. So
Now, what's a trend on social media marketing that excites you right now?
the Costco guys, I like the Costco guys. 5 Big Booms. Those guys are cool.
Are they
Little
using
boom
like
action.
trending music or anything like that?
No, I do know the Costco guys.
No.
Oh, yeah. If anybody's watching this knows the Costco guys, they are elite. They basically go to Costco and they're like try out the chick. They're massive. I didn't know about them until I came back. I went traveling abroad last year and they were like, everyone came back and they're like, oh, the Costco guys, and I didn't know who they were either. But yeah, they basically just go to Costco and buy like chicken bakes and like double chunk chocolate cookies and then rate things like with 5 Big Booms, and they've become like an internet sensation. So I don't know if it's a trend, but it's fun to watch. It's like brain rot. So yeah.
Now, is there any like social media strategies people are overthinking?
Talking on camera. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that. Just not being afraid to do it. People overthink it all the time, but just do it. Just post it. What's the worst that's going to happen? We're on a floating rock in the middle of space. We're all going to die anyways. Like, just do it.
It just hit record. I mean, sometimes the simplest things just work best.
Yep. I love it. Yeah, agreed. Why is your podcast named Every Day is Friday? What was the meaning behind that?
I was living every day to the fullest, and I got laid off the first time I got laid off, and I was living every day was Friday, and I wanted to do something with my life. And then I was living every day was Friday. I was living a free lifestyle, and I go, it's kind of like I'm retired right now, and I kind of want to do something. So then I started the whole every day is Friday trend.
Let's go. What's your dream?
My dream? That's a good question. I have many dreams. I really want to be an artist. I want to do music, and I want to interview a lot more guests. I want to have on my podcast. I want to dive into the stories and experiences from people from all walks of life, and I love putting myself in uncomfortable situations because that makes me grow the most.
Yep, I love that. Do you want to like get to Joe Rogan level with this podcast, or what do you think the goal is with the podcast and music?
Someone told me recently, they go, why would I listen to you instead of Joe Rogan? And, that person listens to me almost on the weekly basis now. So, maybe I am on that, trend of going up towards, that Joe Rogan aspect of it. And I think everyone has a story out there, and I really want to dive into it and like have everyone have a voice. If they have any type of story or experience or anything they just want to share out to the world, I want to have a platform that's freedom of speech that they can share.
Yeah, I love that. What's your actual personal story? I know I told you mine, but what's yours? Coming into this.
Coming into it, I mean,
yeah.
I had a house fire back in 2017. I've lost everything, so I know what it feels like to lose everything, and then basically like I don't have any type of thing that really makes me go, oh, I need this or that. It's like I've lost everything before. I walked out of the house with my phone, my wallet, my keys, and then after that, you just realize like you really find out who your true friends and family are after a situation like that. And then you just kind of grow from one situation to another. You grow from, life, friends, relationships fall apart, and you just kind of keep on growing. And that's the beauty of life. God gifted us this beautiful life on this rock floating through space, and you got to make the most of it. Go chase your dreams, because your dreams will not chase you. And what you are is God's gift to you, and what you do with it is your gift to God.
Let's go. Are you Christian?
I'm Catholic.
Catholic. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. I agree. Do you like to travel at all or no?
I just got back from Miami. So I travel whenever I can. And,
Oh,
you got to have money for it, especially. And I would love to take the podcast worldwide, travel around. I do have some locations that are on my bucket list, like Aruba, to give a podcast there. And,
that was funny.
I have a couple people that I want to have on my bucket list to be on my podcast and stuff like that. You just keep on one step in front of the other, and you just gotta keep on moving forward, no matter what they say. We're going to keep on rocking every single day.
Let's go. I love it. Yeah. If you go, have you been to like any traveled abroad, like to Bali or Europe or any of those spots or no?
No, I have not. My brother really
God.
wants to go to Europe right now,
Yeah.
and I keep on I want to go, but then kind of not want to go at the same time because
Yeah.
business comes first. At the end of the day, and then you got to have money to do all this as well, and then you got to figure out plane ride, how you gonna get there, what are you gonna do there, and stuff like that. I mean, yes, I really do want to travel to Europe and all the way around the world. It is on my bucket list. I'm going to achieve it because every day is Friday.
What a great way to say that. Yeah. Yeah. I traveled abroad last year and it was just, I stayed in like super cheap hostels, like $20 a day. Like you can meet so many cool people doing that. It's a blast. It's like really eye opening. Like we're here in America and it's great, but there's a whole world out there that like we're in such like a bubble. I feel like compared to like just I went to Morocco, like that was, I don't know, just to see how some people live is like, it makes you so much more thankful for where you're at right now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, can you dive into that for the listeners? Why going abroad and studying all these different cultures is so helpful to you as a human to grow?
yeah, it opens your eyes. I think it's one of those things that are like, even if you're pressed for money and you're like, how do I do this? It's like you just buy the plane ticket and go over there and just figure it out. Get a job if you have to, bartending or, being a barista and just experience life outside the US because I love America's best country in the world, right? But being able to explore different cultures and the fact we're speaking English right now is like, awesome. It's wild, right? But when you go to Paris and people are speaking French and you literally like all your life people understand what you're saying, and then you go in a place where people have no idea what you're saying, it's like, oh, it just blows your mind. Like language blow. And I hated foreign language growing up in class, but I wish I paid attention more. Oh, so yeah, I'd say that. It's
I'll tell
just,
you this much. I went to Miami and the lady thought I was from a different country. I go, I'm from this country.
did she say where or no?
She did not say where, but she was like, she thought Europe somewhere, Poland, Switzerland, somewhere over there. She was thinking, I know that. And my blue eyes give everything away, I guess.
Yeah, maybe Dutch, little Amsterdam
Yeah, something like
type
that. But I
vibes.
just I just took that away from Miami. I was like, wow, like
Yep.
this is my country. I am from here.
That's funny. Where in Miami did you go?
Uh, Miami Beach. That's where I was located.
Nice. I want to go. I've never been. I know it's like popping off for like all the internet marketers right now or people in my space. They all get the penthouse in Miami. But um, I don't know. I don't want to live there, but it'd be cool to just check it out probably. A lot
Yeah,
of
it's
good
cool.
golf.
Check it out there and enjoy the ocean. Enjoy it's beautiful there right now at
Is
this
it?
time of year. Yes, very beautiful.
I believe it. Yeah, there's so much to experience in this world. Like, you know, business, dancing, singing, golfing, foreign language. Like, it's like, I want to learn all of it before, we die. I don't know. It's just like, we're literally like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
tomorrow's not
yes.
promised.
Yes, and then you build connections like
Yeah.
me and and
Yep.
we're just so young. We can just we're gonna see each other one day again. We're gonna keep on going our projection, keep on going up, and maybe we both have a place in Miami. Maybe we'll have dinner together.
Little filet action. Let's go.
You know it.
That'd
Now,
be awesome.
now let's circle back to the main topic of Instagram.
Yeah.
Now, if Instagram would just vanish tomorrow, what would you do?
Great question. I'd go YouTube all the way. And I just make as many YouTube videos quality as possible. And it would take some time. But if I needed money immediately, I'd probably run ads on YouTube and then get subscribers that way. And then the subscribers would watch my content and then click the link in my bio where I could like make a landing page and book a call now with my calendar and then talk to me. But if Instagram disappeared tomorrow, yeah, it's a great question. We're working on that right now because all of our business does come through Instagram right now. And not that business Instagram is going to go away, I don't ever think, but just having a backup in case our account gets like banned or something. You know what I mean? A second channel. We paid someone to whitelist our account from Instagram so that it doesn't get banned. And that was like thousands. And who knows if it even did anything. But still, it's always risky if you want to run like a 7-8 figure business, just from one Instagram account, probably not the smartest idea because then if it gets banned, you're boned.
Yeah, or like TikTok, it gets fully wiped off the face of the earth for a lot of people out there.
Yeah. Yeah, TikTok's funny. TikTok's great for like e-commerce products or drop shipping, or if you're selling something for $30 on Shopify store. But for like leads or for like, local businesses or people like who need my help, the demographic on there is very young and they're typically not business owners. So it's more of just like people swiping up on an ad and saying like, nice try, Diddy, or something like that. So it's not my ideal audience.
No, everyone has to find what their audience is on what platform. I mean, personally, I'm on all platforms, but I can see businesses being more focused on Instagram because of the ads, and maybe Facebook as well. They're connected somehow, and YouTube as well.
Yeah. All three of those, you nailed it. There's Snapchat, there's a bunch of other ones, but it's Instagram and YouTube are like in my opinion, the best. If you can nail those two platforms, you're doing well.
Now, what's the biggest like aha moment you've had in your business journey?
Probably just how important content is. And just, I wish I would have started YouTube earlier, but just, I spent all this time in the beginning cold calling, trying to get clients, make 100 cold calls a day, book 5 meetings, 3 show up, and hopefully you can land 1. And it's just not a fun way to do business because people don't trust you. Hopping on the phone, you're selling them something that they don't even want to be on the call for. And it's, there's no trust, there's no authority, there's no leverage. And then you have to wake up the very next day and do it again. It just sucks. So
pretty amazing how you can make money on the internet though.
All from this. My screen time is pretty high, but it's, as you can imagine, but, yeah, what I'm not looking forward to one day is hopefully, when I pass, hopefully it's a while from now, but like, I'm dead. And then God's like, all right, you spent this many years looking at screens like that. It's going to be a high number. I don't even want to know it, but that's the world we live in now, right? Because it's not about how hard you work. You want to work hard in any job, I think, but it's also about what boat you're in. So like people on roofs putting in shingles every day, like nonstop. They're working harder than me, right? I'm sitting behind a computer. But in a way, I guess I'm in a leveraged opportunity where, they like, and we need roofers. We need people like this. Like there's no, nothing wrong with that. It's just like what boat you're in matters. If you're making a YouTube video or a podcast like this, where it's going to get distributed across maybe 10 people, maybe 10 million people one day, that has more leverage because it's 1 hour of your time and it goes out to all these people versus if you just talk to one person, no one else, there's not a lot of leverage there.
No, that's perfectly put. Now, if you only had like 24 hours to start a business from scratch with only like $500, what would you do?
What, just start a business or make money, like make a certain amount of money?
Let's just say it's a small business that you're helping create or you're helping make. You only have 24 hours to start this business from scratch with only $500. I mean, what would you do? I mean, Instagram is free. for one, and would you just start doing exactly what you said, it's just making content and then just run ads with the 500?
Well, so is the goal to just start a business, or is the goal to like make a certain amount of money in 24 hours? Because I can start a business with anything. I can start a knitting business in 24 hours, right? All you have to do is just technically buy an LLC and say like I'm in a payment processor, hook that up to your bank account and say like, and now you can take money and say I'm in business. But if it's like making a certain amount of money in 24 hours, is that like, is that the question or?
Well, I was saying like how could someone promote their business, promote their brand to the highest level they could with only $500
in 24 hours? Okay. Yeah, it'd be this. It would be this if you're a lead-based business. If you're not, if you're a software company or you're, an e-commerce store, or even if you're a restaurant, any business that does not need leads, then I would not do this. And I don't know, I'd have to think about it. But if you're any type of business, coach, consultant, agency, local business, home remodeling, like doesn't matter, and you need leads, this is the best way.
Now, what's a bold prediction you have about the future of entrepreneurship?
I think more people are going to start becoming one because everyone wants to get out of the corporate life and they don't want to be stuck in a job, stuck in traffic 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, most of their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think only the toughest ones will survive because, as you said in the very beginning, it is not for everybody. And this game is the most rewarding game ever, but it also sucks at times, right? Like you spend all this, for us, we spend money on ads every day and we'll get 4 booked calls, but then maybe only 3 show up or not, well, maybe 3 don't show up. Only 1 actually shows up. Well, we spent a lot of time getting those 3 other people just for them to totally ignore us. So that stuff happens all the time, and just not getting emotional about it and just sticking with it. Like that's key.
I know this much. They did this whole statistic thing with kids basically from elementary school. Like what job do they want in the future? And they all want to be an influencer.
I saw that too. Yeah. It's wild. Influencers, yeah, or a YouTuber. It's wild. I think with influencers, and I do that with golf a little bit right now, but you're just chasing views and followers at the end of the day. If you don't have a way to monetize it, outside of just YouTube AdSense, then if you're just relying on sponsorships and YouTube AdSense, like you'll make a little bit, especially if you have a massive following. Of course you can crush it, but there's a lot of people with 100,000 followers right now who are just like making less than the average American. So, because they don't know how to monetize.
No, so true. Now, Tyler, what's next for you in your business?
Just taking a day at a time, seeing, I want to continue to help out more local businesses. That gives me fulfillment when I see that they crush it. Up ad spend on our end. So we're at $100 a day right now. We want to get to $500, $1,000. I just keep going. Because if you can spend $1 to make 3, then you would pull that lever anytime, right? So just continue to scale that way. Continue to grow my golf stuff. I have a golf podcast I'm doing. And yeah, how about you though? What's your goal?
100 podcasts. That's what I'm reaching for right now. I keep on hitting these milestones. I just hit 50 not too long ago, but I've been releasing 2 to 3 podcasts every week, and then just the guests keep on coming to me. I keep on reaching out, and it's all about scheduling, getting time with them, and eventually I want to get some sponsors involved and hopefully promote the podcast a little bit more, and maybe the clothing brand as well.
Let's go, dude. Yeah, clothing brand is a great way to monetize, especially if you have a cult following. Because it's all community. Have you heard of Skool at all? SKOOL?
I have heard of them. What do you think?
Okay. That's where we host our community, is on Skool, and then I have a golf community on there too. It's a great platform. I highly recommend it. I think it'd be smart or wise to urge all your listeners to join it. And then that way you can connect with all of them on a deeper level and actually talk to them versus, create just a podcast, you can actually tell them, hey, if you want to talk on a deeper level, just join the school community with everybody else who listens, because every day's Friday.
No, I take
So
that advice. I appreciate that. Now, if you could give one piece of advice to the audience, to someone just starting out, what would it be?
stick with it, and don't try something for 2 weeks and then say it doesn't work. Like, actually stick with it. You're going to pivot. You're going to pivot. You're going to switch up. You're going to say, like, I shut down my first agency 4 months. It failed. I was like, oh, this sucks. Back to the drawing board. Made a pivot. But at the end of the day, I still stuck with it. I have videos of me door knocking that I wish I would have filmed more a year ago at this time, and taking meetings with owners to get totally shut down. I had it's so fun looking back, and I'm talking like I'm a millionaire now, and I'm not, but you get the point. It's just like the progress you make even in 1 year is nuts, but not being lazy, sticking with it. Hardest thing for me is discipline right now, like going to bed and waking up on time, same time. Something as easy as that is just like tough, because I'm like a big FOMO guy. Like, I'll get invites from friends to go out to a, bar or a dinner, and I'm like, oh, you only live once. You gotta live in the moment, and then regret it the next day. But yeah, I would just say stick with it.
No, I resonate with that. Stick with it. I mean, from my first podcast to this one, I mean, the amount of growth I've made, just hit record if you're feeling uncomfortable at the time. Just hit record and just have fun with it at the end of the day. Now, what do you think makes a great entrepreneur?
Yeah, I'd just say tenacity and competitiveness. I'm super competitive. I hate to lose. Love to win. So competitiveness and just the burning desire, like, of, hey, how can I better myself? Right? Like, it's going to take sacrifices. I don't have a girl right now. So it's like fitness and business. How can I, it's a dumb quote, but like, instead of chasing a butterfly, build a garden. Like that, you know what I mean? So
I've heard that one before. That's beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, but that's about it, brother.
Now, all your stuff will be in the description down below, but where can people follow you?
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's Tyler.Smerz, Smerz. That's my Instagram, and on YouTube, it's just, Tyler Smerz as well. I have 2 channels, a golf one and a business one, but I appreciate you having me on and just hitting me up and going from there. It's exciting. I'm excited to see, the guests you have on, and another 100 episodes will be Elon or something. So I can't wait to see the growth, and I'm a big supporter. So appreciate that, brother.
Now, what's your final piece of advice, or what's one of your final pieces of motivation you like to leave the audience?
Yeah, I'm so keen on, like, motivation isn't real. Discipline's like where it's at. It definitely helps in the short term, but no one's motivated at 4 a.m. when they wake up in the morning and it's cold. And I'm talking to myself. So I would just say if you want to start a business and you really want to go after it, try everything, just stick with it and keep going. And eventually, like, you're going to figure it out. God's going to find a way to help guide your path in a way, like, where he's going to show you, like, no, okay, you tried this. This is the proper way. And I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So, big believer in that. And just trusting your gut. So, hope that is somewhat of a good answer.
No, Tyler, you shared such amazing insights on business, social media, and success. Thank you again.
Of course. Thank you for having me on, brother. Can't wait to see you soon.
Now, for the listeners, make sure to go follow him for more tips. And stay tuned for the next episode of Every Day is Friday Podcast 365. Until next time, everybody.
Follow Matt. Thanks, guys.